you ever need a reminder of how fast time is flying right now, just look at the Galaxy Z Fold7 and when this thing got announced. Cause I can't believe it's been half a year since I was in New York City unboxing this Galaxy Z Fold7 after Galaxy Unpacked. So July 9th, 2025, that's when Samsung actually announced this Galaxy Z Fold7 at Galaxy Unpacked. And this was like a crazy thing to see in person. Coming from the Z Fold6, you had a way slimmer design. You had this beautiful blue color over here. You had a bigger screen on the front and the inside. They got rid of the S Pen. I ain't forget about that, Samsung. You thought I was, huh? They changed everything that they needed to with the Z Fold7. It wasn't nothing revolutionary, but it's everything that I wanted. Almost. S Pen. And now that we're more than halfway through the product cycle, I gotta go and talk about how this is using the Z Fold7 these days. So first up, I just wanna go and get straight into this. I don't even wanna procrastinate or nothing. I just wanna kinda out myself real quick. Let's go and talk about the durability with this. Anybody that knows me know I'm very careful with my devices, but this time I kind of let my Z Fold7 down and like I kind of did some durability tests with this. I'm a clumsy dude, all right? Like if you look around this phone, you could definitely see that I got some dings and scratches and just marks and whatever else up on here, so it got some battle wounds, all right? And as my boy Siobhan Salmon says,
these scratches and dents, they just tell a story, you know what I'm saying?
And my story is that I'm clumsy as hell, and you could clearly see. I seem to drop my phone a lot, and the reason why I have these in here because usually I would have it covered in screen protectors and cases or whatever, but this time I just had a really hard time with it. So it's been very hard for me to find a good case for the Z Fold7 throughout this whole experience of just me using this phone. I couldn't really find a good one. So I've been trying to use this case here by speaking. It's like a transparent case I got off of Amazon, and like I can't tell you how many times this thing broke. Literally, I didn't really have no issues with my Z Fold6 cases, but this is just crazy. So I think this broke on me, what, 4 times, 5 times, and that's coming from Spigen. I think that's crazy, bro. Literally, this thing snapped on me like 4 or 5 times in the same exact spot, and I told Spigen this, and they just won't listen. So as much as I love Spigen, this case is not it at all. It's complete garbage. Don't even get it. I mean, hell, literally that AI case that I'd really never even heard that brand before, it's like a no-name brand, works better than it. But overall, considering the circumstances, this phone has held up pretty good with like just getting beat up in just day-to-day life and whatever. So I will say I am impressed with the durability on the Z Fold7. And Samsung made this whole big thing about how the crease is gonna be so much better on the Z Fold7 because of how they redesigned the hinge on the inside, so like the screen doesn't really fold like it used to.
The structure of the wing plates has been redesigned to open wider, creating a droplet-shaped curve and optimizing Galaxy Z Fold7's capacity for a more resilient display.
Which, let's go and talk about the crease in the Z Fold7 since they was talking all so good about it. So I think they actually did something this time. Right from the jump when you took the phone out the box, you could tell with the crease that it was just way better than the Z Fold6. But I just said from there, I wanted to see how it would be over time. Because the crease is always fine in the beginning, but then when you go ahead and use it for a little bit, then that's when you kind of see the results. And overall, I think it's been pretty good. So I'm at the beautiful downtown Milwaukee Riverwalk right now, and it is cold, clearly. You could probably see some of the snow falling down right now. It's 21 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm doing all this right now to go ahead and basically tell you that I've heard things from people saying like if they go ahead and fold their phone in the cold or something like that, it would actually break. Now me personally, I ain't had to deal with that with none of my foldable phones, and I'm not trying to jinx that or nothing, but like just so far though, we've been straight, like with all my foldable phones. But they were saying do not go ahead and fold your phone in the cold like this, or it might break on the inside. So I don't know, I'm just putting that warning out there. I've heard that. I don't know if like it actually happens or not, but apparently it does. So if you live in a climate like me where you in Milwaukee, or maybe you're Detroit, Chicago, Baltimore, New York City, wherever you're at, I don't know, maybe you got to consider this. I could tell y'all cannot see me that well at all. Like this Sony ZV-1 not good for low light. Can you see me better over here? Oh yeah, you actually could. So, okay, well, too late now. But I'd imagine the same thing applies for the Z Flip 7, so be careful, even though I'm still doing it. Samsung has come a long way from the original Fold to the Z Fold7, and like with all their innovations and things like that, I think they did do a good job with the crease. Cause my Z Fold6 definitely did not hold up this good, so I gotta say Samsung definitely figured it out this time, so shout out to Samsung for that. I cannot tell you that I see really that much of a difference with the crease compared to nowadays, like February 12, 2026 when I'm using this and recording this video right now. Look at the crease on the original Galaxy Fold compared to the Z Fold7. You can see on the Z Fold7 it's way less pronounced. I get the phone is way older too and it's been through way more folds or whatever and like the technology got better, but still. It kind of goes to show you that Samsung did come a long way with that, man. And I'm not just saying anything. You know me, I'm gonna be honest, and this is me being honest right now. Yeah, I like it. But it would be nice if I felt the same way about the battery life. At first I was like, okay, it seemed like the battery life actually does not seem to be that bad. It seems better than the Z Fold6. But now that I say that, I'm just kind of thinking, where the hell was I coming from? What was I thinking? How did I come up with that analysis? How did I come up with that conclusion? That's not true. The battery life on the Z Fold7 is pretty mid, okay? So like, you kind of got to expect this with the physical constraints and everything, right? Look how slim this thing is, bro. It's so slim. It does have the same battery capacity as the Z Fold6, which that was actually pretty impressive. And also we have a better processor, so you get more optimized battery life. But to be honest, at the end of the day, just using this for real world experiences, I don't see that much of a difference from my Z Fold6. I'm not gonna say it's worse, but I don't see that much of a difference. Right now, if you look at my battery life, you can actually see it's on 26%. And actually, when I woke up this morning, it was on 67%. Actually, no. So I thought it was. I'm being dead serious. I forgot I did plug in my phone. It was at 100%. And it said it stopped charging 4 hours and 38 minutes ago. And we're on 26%. That's not that good. Especially considering when my screen on time is 1 hour and 53 minutes. We got a problem. There is no reason why my phone should have 25% when it was fully charged this morning and it's only been off the charger for 4 hours and some change. So yeah, Z Fold7 battery life, that's not it for real at all. And like, I already got everything set up. Like the system already figured out how I use my phone and everything. So it's optimized for me. I don't do no gaming on my phone. I don't do none of that. I literally just use the internet. I make calls, I text, I do all that. I got Life 360, whatever else. I like to use my Fold open majority of the time because, you know, it's a folding phone. So of course I want to do that, right? But it looks like I'm gonna have to go and plug my phone in soon again if I want to get through this day at all. And I'm only on 25%. Now just scrolling through the phone and everything, it's been no hiccups or nothing. It's been completely smooth. Like this One UI 8 has done me very well, man. I love One UI 8 on this phone. Of course, I wouldn't really expect a phone this expensive to give me any type of lag or anything, especially when it just came out and it's the latest and greatest, but it's been good for me. And just using this camera for pictures and videos and things like that has been a good experience for me. So I actually have a local news publication website and I've been making stories with this phone. So there's been shootings and things like that in my city and I've been having to go ahead and take pictures of sunsets and quick sharing it to my Galaxy Book 4 Edge behind me. And like, it's been handling it great. It definitely can be better because like we see what they done with the S series, right? And especially with the S26 coming out, I'm sure it's going to be even better than that. But just for what it is, they're good cameras. And I'm so glad that Samsung got rid of the under display camera because I've been doing video calls and it looks so much better like this. I'm gonna be honest though, bro, like I ain't been using that 200 megapixels and I'm still not gonna use that 200 megapixels because it don't look that good. That's the only thing I can really say that I don't like about the camera is a 200 megapixel feature. It's just a gimmick and I just wouldn't recommend taking pictures with it. I remember when we was in New York City on this like camera tour with Samsung, I was using a 200 megapixel and it just looks so overblown with the Brooklyn Bridge, man. Like I couldn't get over it. Even taking pictures for a photo shoot right by the sun. Shout out to my boy CJ Knows Tech, but like that just didn't even look that good with the 200 megapixels. So this whole time I just stuck with the trusty 12 megapixel camera and it gave me no issues with it. So with all that being said, overall, I would still recommend the Z Fold7 in 2026. Like I use this as my main phone. I use it every single day. I don't put it down unless I'm using something like my iPhone 15 Pro or something, which like, as you can see right here, I'm actually dailying 2 phones at the same time. So like, this is it right here. Actually, no, I'm lying. So I bring around my Z Fold7, my iPhone 15, and my Flip 7. So if you want to see a video on this too, let me know. But I can't sit here and tell you that I have any major complaints about the Z Fold7. So I would recommend it. If you have the money for it, go for it. And I'll be honest with you, I am sad that we don't have any more S Pen support for the main cover on the Z Fold7, but I really haven't missed it that much. So like, it never came with it inside the phone, so it's a little bit more difficult to use. If we were able to put the pen inside the phone, then yeah, I'll probably be a little bit more butthurt, but since we had to carry it around with a case, then it didn't hurt as much. Shout out to the Billiards Club crew for supporting the channel though, man, and I'll get up with y'all later.